Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you that shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. And today, we're tackling, well, a really modern problem, a paradox almost. Digital wealth. We've got some great source material here from Davies Wealth Management, packed with insights on planning in this whole decentralized space, our mission. To break down this complexity into a clear, actionable strategy for you so your crypto doesn't just vanish into thin air, become a kind of digital ghost. I mean, the scale of this is huge, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You've got, what, over 50 million Americans holding crypto now? Significant amounts, too.
Right. But here's the catch. Most haven't included it in their estate plans. At all.
And that's not just messy, like forgetting an old savings bond. This is where it gets serious. For crypto, especially self-custodied crypto, if that planning isn't done right, if the access is lost or not documented, that wealth can be permanently gone. Forever.
Permanently, yeah.
Think about it. Millions, potentially billions, just mathematically unreachable because, say, a 24-word seed phrase wasn't passed on correctly.
Okay, so permanent loss. That really sets the stakes. The legal system, probate, it tries to treat digital stuff like, a house or stocks.
Right. But the access is fundamentally different. It's not like asking a bank manager for access. There's no central authority you can compel with a court order if you don't have the private key.
So a judge can't just order the blockchain to hand over the Bitcoin.
Exactly. If the key is lost, it's lost. That's the core challenge our sources highlight. Traditional fiduciary methods they don't map onto decentralized tech easily.
And wealth managers are seeing this struggle daily.
Every day. Because traditional planning relies on paper trails, banks, legal jurisdictions. Blockchain is global, decentralized, permissionless. Your will in the filing cabinet, it means nothing without the right cryptographic key.
So our goal here is to build that bridge, connect the tech to the legal structures.
Precisely. We need to map it out.
Okay, let's start with the basics then. Define the landscape. When we say crypto holdings, what are we actually talking about? It's not just Bitcoin anymore, right?
Not even close. I mean, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the big names, sure. But for anyone actively involved, the portfolio is much wider.
Wider how? What else needs to be considered?
You've got to think about staking rewards assets, earning interest automatically. Then there's DeFi, decentralized finance, tokens locked in protocols, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, yield farming positions. It gets complex fast.
So it's the difference between just holding something passively versus actively using it within the crypto ecosystem.
Exactly. Holding Bitcoin. Your executor needs the key, needs the value. But DeFi, that's interaction. Maybe you're providing liquidity on Uniswap, earning fees. Your assets are locked in a smart contract.
Okay.
Or you hold governance tokens for Compound, letting you vote on changes. The estate plan needs to detail not just the wallet key, but how to get out of those contracts, how to claim the rewards, how to convert things back.
Can you give an example? Like the professional athletes mentioned in our sources, their portfolios must be intricate.
Oh, yeah. Think high net worth. Maybe an athlete with big digital earnings. It's a reb. Sure, they hold Bitcoin long term, but they also have governance tokens for like a dozen platforms. These tokens give voting rights, generate reward streams. It's complicated.
And if the plan just lists a wallet address,
Then the trustee is lost. They don't know which apps the person used, how to unstake safely, how to claim rewards, how to vote to maybe keep the asset valuable or liquid. That wealth is effectively stranded on the blockchain. Hashtag 1.2 valuation nightmares and volatility.
okay, that complexity is one thing. Now, the value itself, this is where it gets really wild, doesn't it? The volatility.
Valuation is a huge headache. A nightmare, really.
How does an executor even put a number on something that could jump or crash by thousands in like an hour?
Well, the IRS has a requirement. The executor needs the fair market value at the time of death.
The exact moment.
Exact moment. For tax purposes. So if someone passes at 10 a.m., the executor needs a defensible price for every single crypto asset at 10 a.m.
But what if the market tanks right after? By the time the executor gets access, the value could be way lower.
Precisely. That's the practical problem. You mentioned the swings, Bitcoin down 65% in 2022, altcoins dropping 90% plus. This puts the executor in a tough spot, liability-wise.
How so?
Well, say they value it at $70 on the death date, the market crashes. They eventually sell for $40K. The estate might have overpaid taxes based on a value they couldn't actually realize.
Is there any flexibility there?
There is one option, but it's risky. The IRS allows an alternate valuation date 6 months after death. But you can only use it if both the total estate value and the tax owed are lower on that later date.
So you're betting the price won't recover in 6 months.
Basically, yes. Or you're forced to sell immediately to lock in a price, which might not be great long-term planning. It's a gamble.
And I imagine this gets even harder with less common coins.
Oh, absolutely. Illiquid tokens, tokens locked in staking, things traded only on obscure exchanges with low volume.
Finding a price.
Finding a defensible price is tough. There's often limited data. The executor might need to hire a specialist appraiser.
Which has cost and time.
Exactly. More complexity than valuing, say, listed stocks. Hashtag tag 1.3 tax implications hit hard.
Okay, the elephant in the room, taxes. The IRS. What are the absolute key takeaways for you, the listener, planning for this?
Right, the big one. The IRS treats all crypto as property, like stocks, like real estate.
So trading triggers capital gains.
During the owner's lifetime, yes. Every sale, every swap potentially creates a taxable event, but inheritance, that's different. There's a huge benefit.
Okay, this sounds important. The aha moment you mentioned. The stepped-up basis. Break that down for us.
Okay, the stepped-up basis. It's maybe the most valuable tax break when inheriting appreciated assets. Normally, if you buy Bitcoin at $10 and sell it at $70, you owe capital gains tax on that $60 profit.
Makes sense.
But if you inherit that Bitcoin when it's worth $70, your cost basis for tax purposes gets stepped up to that $70 K value.
So the $60 K gain that happened during the original owner's life.
It essentially vanishes for capital gains tax purposes for the beneficiary. They can sell it immediately for $70 K and owe zero capital gains tax on that $60 K appreciation.
Wow. Okay.
If they hold it longer and it goes to $80, they only owe tax on the new $10 gain. It saves potentially huge amounts in immediate tax. Way more efficient than gifting crypto during life.
That's a massive relief for the beneficiary. But the estate itself might still owe taxes, right?
Correct. The stepped-up basis helps the beneficiary with capital gains, but the value of the crypto is still included in the decedent's estate for calculating estate taxes.
So if the total estate, crypto, house, everything is over the federal limit.
Then the estate owes federal estate tax. Those limits are high right now, but they can change.
And states have their own rules too.
Right. State taxes add another layer. Florida, for example, has no state estate or inheritance tax. Big advantage. But other states, they might impose significant taxes. The executor needs cash in the estate to pay those, sometimes before distributing assets. And one more crucial point. Where the crypto is held matters. If it's inside an IRA...
Like a Bitcoin IRA.
Exactly. If it's in a traditional IRA, the rules change completely. It's not standard property rules anymore. It's retirement account rules.
Meaning?
Meaning beneficiaries usually have to take distributions and pay ordinary income tax on them, typically within 10 years under the current Secure Act.
So no stepped-up basis and a forced timeline.
Right. It needs separate planning. That 10-year clock ticks regardless of what the crypto market is doing.
Okay, this complexity just hammers home the need for a plan. Let's move from the problems to the solutions. What's step one for someone listening right now?
Documentation. Strategy one is creating a complete digital asset inventory. It's the absolute foundation.
The index of your digital universe, as you put it.
Exactly. Miss one wallet, one exchange, and those funds could be lost.
So what goes on this list? Be specific. More than just, I own Bitcoin.
Way more. You need every wallet address, cold storage, hot wallet, browser extension, everything. Every exchange account by name. Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, wherever. Then, the crucial stuff. The private keys, the seed phrases, those 12 or 24 words, details on staking positions, any DeFi interactions, and transaction histories help prove ownership if needed later.
Just listing the seed phrase isn't enough, though, is it? How does the executor find it?
No, that's where plans often fail. The inventory must detail where these keys or phrases are stored, physically or digitally, and the step-by-step method to retrieve them.
Right.
Like, the 24-word seed phrase is etched on a metal plate in the bottom drawer of the filing cabinet in the home office, key is taped under the desk. Or, it's in safety deposit box, hashtag 123 at XYZ Bank, the key is with my attorney. Explicit instructions. Without them, the list is useless.
And what about getting into the accounts themselves? Passwords, 2FA. That needs documenting too.
Absolutely critical. You need the recovery process for each platform, not just the password. The specific two-factor authentication method used is at SMS, an authenticator app like Authy, or Google Authenticator, a physical key like a YubiKey.
Why does that detail matter so much?
Because if the executor logs in with the password and hits a 2FA prompt they can't bypass, they're stuck. If it's a YubiKey, they need to know where that physical key is. If it's an app, they need the master recovery codes for the app or how to restore it.
So backup codes are essential.
For every platform. Without them, the assets stay locked behind that security barrier.
This sounds like a living document, not something you write once and forget.
It absolutely is. Which brings us to the maintenance mandate. This space moves incredibly fast. New protocols, new wallets, software updates. Our sources strongly suggest updating this inventory at least quarterly.
Quarterly.
Minimum. For active traders or DeFi users, maybe even monthly. Outdated info, a changed wallet address, a different 2FA method makes the whole plan potentially worthless.
Okay, so documentation is step one. Step two is the access itself, the tech side. You mentioned traditional password managers aren't enough.
Not for the core secrets, no. Storing your private key controlling significant assets on just one encrypted drive or in one password manager, that's asking for trouble.
A single point of failure.
Exactly. Drive fails, password manager account lost, master password forgotten, assets gone, we need redundancy, distributed security.
So what are the better methods? How do you distribute access securely?
Store keys and seeds in multiple secure locations. And consider segmenting them. The gold standard for self-custody is probably Shamir's secret sharing scheme, SSSS.
Okay, Shamir's secret sharing. Walk us through how that works with, say, a seed phrase.
Right. It's basically crypto key splitting. You take your secret, the 24-word phrase, and use a tool to split it into multiple unique parts called shares. Let's say you do a 3 of 5 scheme. You create 5 shares. You only need any 3 of those 5 shares to put the original seed phrase back together.
Interesting. So how would you use those 5 shares for estate planning?
You distribute them strategically. Share 1 to your successor trustee. Share 2 to your estate attorney. Share 3 in a fireproof safe at home. Share 4 in a bank deposit box. Share 5 to your spouse or another trusted person.
So if one is lost or destroyed?
No problem. If the house burns down, the trustee can still get the key using the shares from the attorney, the spouse, and their own. It builds in redundancy and disperses control. No single person has the whole key.
That sounds incredibly robust. What about hardware wallets? Ledger, Trezor? They're secure, right?
They are excellent for keeping keys offline, but they need specific inheritance planning too. Remember that stat, 25% of users lose access within 5 years?
Right.
That's often because they never tested their recovery seed. You must test it while you're alive. Wipe the device, restore it from the seed words, make sure they actually work. Discovering a typo after someone's passed, too late.
Okay, but this focus on self-custody. What about services like Coinbase Custody? Isn't using a custodian against the whole crypto ethos? Not your keys, not your crypto.
It's a fair point, and it hits that philosophical divide. For crypto purists, self-custody is paramount. But for estate planning, especially with large amounts, practicality often needs to win over ideology. Institutional custodians offer top-tier security, clear legal frameworks, and this is key built-in inheritance procedures. They're legally obligated to release assets with proper documents, like a bank.
So you trade some control for reliability and easier inheritance.
Exactly. It's a trade-off, but often a sensible one for ensuring beneficiaries actually receive the assets.
And briefly, multi-signature wallets. How do they fit in?
Multi-sig is another high-security option, great for significant assets or family offices. It means a transaction requires multiple keys, say 3 out of 5 different people need to sign off.
So built-in checks and balances.
Right. For an estate, you could require signatures from the trustee, a beneficiary, and maybe the lawyer. Prevents any one person acting alone. Enforces the trust's rules before funds can move.
That need for control and coordination leads us nicely into legal structures. Trusts seem like a key tool here. How do they handle these very fluid digital assets?
Trusts are generally superior to wills for crypto. 2 big reasons. Privacy probate is public, trusts are private, and avoiding probate complications altogether. A well-funded trust means a smoother, faster transfer. That's critical when asset values can swing wildly.
Which type of trust works best? And what's the magic legal language needed?
The revocable living trust is common, but standard trust language isn't enough for crypto. The trust must give the successor trustee specific, explicit authority for digital asset management. Generic stuff about intangible property won't cut it.
What does specific authority look like? What actions need to be spelled out?
It's a functional checklist, really. The trust needs to explicitly let the trustee get the private keys and seeds, operate hardware wallets, interact with DeFi protocols like voting or claiming rewards, maybe even migrate tokens between blockchains if needed. Without spelling these powers out, a court might limit the trustee to just selling, which could destroy value in complex situations.
And for the really big crypto holders, people worried about estate taxes.
Right. If your total estate is near or over the federal exemption limit, then irrevocable trusts come into play. Putting crypto into an irrevocable trust removes it from your taxable estate, potentially saving a lot on estate taxes. It's a common strategy for large appreciating crypto positions.
But you give up control then.
That's the trade-off, yes. Once it's in the irrevocable trust, it's out of your hands.
This all comes back to the trustee, doesn't it?
Right.
You said a standard bank trustee probably isn't equipped. What skills are needed?
It's a dual need: fiduciary duty understanding and technical competence. Deep technical competence. They need to grasp crypto tech, blockchain mechanics, market dynamics. They need to know how to use a hardware wallet safely, handle seed phrases securely, maybe even read a blockchain explorer like Etherscan. If your trustee can't tell a public address from a private key, you've got a problem.
So finding the right person is key.
Absolutely. And the trust document itself needs guidance on the volatility. Should the trustee hold? Sell immediately. Rebalance. The trust should give clear instructions based on market conditions after death, protecting the beneficiaries from massive price drops.
So specific trust language is vital. Are states providing any guidance here? Does local law matter?
Yes, state law is catching up, and it's important. Many states have adopted versions of the Uniform Fiduciary Access to Digital Assets Act, or UFADA. Florida's version is a good example.
And what does UFADA do?
It provides a legal framework. It generally says that if you, the account holder, specifically grant access to your digital assets in your will, trust, or sometimes an online tool provided by the platform, then your executor or trustee has the legal right to access those assets, potentially overriding the platform's standard terms of service about non-transferability.
So it reinforces the need for that specific language in your planning documents.
Exactly. It prioritizes your stated wishes. Relying on vague terms like "on my property" might not be enough under these laws. Specificity gives your executor the legal clout they need.
Okay, we've laid out the strategies for success. Now let's flip it. What are the big mistakes? The pitfalls that lead to that permanent loss we talked about. Hashtag tag 4.1, the devastation of private key disasters.
Well, the numbers are pretty shocking. Our sources estimate around 20% of all Bitcoin might be permanently lost. Unrecoverable.
20%, that's billions and billions of dollars.
Hundreds of billions, yeah. Gone forever, mostly due to lost or inaccessible private keys.
What's the most common way this happens?
The single point of failure. Time and again, it's someone storing everything on one encrypted hard drive, maybe in one password manager, and not sharing the master password or recovery key. The drive exists, maybe the family even has it, but the crypto is locked away cryptographically. No court can break that encryption.
And the hardware wallet failure rate you mentioned earlier.
Right, the 25% access loss within 5 years. That's usually not the device failing, but the user failing the recovery process. They didn't test the seed phrase, they wrote it down wrong years ago, maybe smudged a word. They only find out when they desperately need it, and by then,
Too late.
it's too late. The critical lesson. Single points of failure kill more crypto wealth than market crashes. Redundancy, like Shamir's secret sharing, is absolutely vital. Hashtag tag 4.2, documentation failures and digital ghosts.
Okay, beyond the tech failures, what about just bad paperwork? Documentation seems boring, but you're saying it's make or break.
It really is. Poor documentation turns valuable assets into digital ghosts. Things the courts can't see, can't touch, can't transfer.
What kind of documentation failures do you see most often?
Well, first, just relying on memory. Oh, I know my passwords. That's worthless when you're gone. Second, not understanding the level of proof needed. An executor doesn't just need a password list. Courts, especially if there's a dispute, might require proof of ownership like transaction histories from the blockchain showing the funds moving into that wallet and proof of control over the keys.
So just saying, Dad told me he had Bitcoin isn't enough.
Not nearly enough. You need the cryptographic proof, the access credentials. Without that verifiable chain, the asset might as well not exist legally. Hashtag 4.3, the risk of static plans in a dynamic world.
And the final pitfall ties back to the speed of this space. A static plan just won't work, will it?
No, it's dangerous. The tech landscape changes constantly. New DeFi protocols, staking rules change, wallet software updates. These can alter access procedures without you even realizing it.
So the instructions you wrote 6 months ago for accessing a DeFi platform might be totally wrong now if they updated their system.
Exactly. Maybe they moved to a version 2 contract, required users to migrate funds. Your old instructions point to a dead end. That's why static documentation fails, and why updating monthly, not just quarterly or annually, is wise for active users.
It requires ongoing effort.
It does. Staying current with protocols, with custody solutions, it often needs professional help to ensure the plan remains functional when it's actually needed. Hashtag tag outro. Hashtag tag summary of systematic execution.
Wow. Okay, this has been incredibly insightful and honestly a bit daunting. Let's quickly recap the pillars for success for everyone listening.
Sure. Pillar 1. Comprehensive documentation. Every asset, every address, every key, plus clear, simple recovery instructions.
Pillar 2. Secure redundant access. No single points of failure. Think Shamir's secret sharing, hardware wallets with tested seeds, or institutional custody.
And Pillar 3. Regular maintenance. Update that inventory quarterly or even monthly if you're active to keep pace with tech changes.
When does someone need to stop DIYing this and get professional help? It feels like a lot if you just have a bit of Bitcoin on Coinbase.
Yeah, it scales. Professional help becomes crucial when crypto is a significant part of your net worth. Or if your holdings are complex, DeFi, staking, NFTs, multiple chains. At that point, you need specialized estate attorneys, people who get the tech, the tax law, and the probate process for digital assets. They can integrate it all properly. Hashtag final provocative thought.
We've covered a lot about securing access and legal transfer for beneficiaries. But given the volatility, what's the next level of planning? What should people be thinking about beyond just recovery?
That's a great question. We focused on, can the beneficiary get access? The next level is, how fast can they act, especially under pressure? Think about extreme volatility again. A major market crash happens after you pass, but before assets are secured or distributed. Have you tested how quickly your chosen trustee can realistically navigate the legal hurdles, get the keys, access the exchange or wallet, and execute a sale or transfer if needed to preserve value?
So speed of execution in a crisis.
Exactly. Can the plan function effectively, not just technically, but under time and market pressure? That combination of legal authority, technical ability, and speed is the next frontier in robust crypto estate planning. It ensures preservation, not just eventual transfer.